And hello, folks, on a Friday the 13th. I don't know about you. I hope you've had a good day. My day's been pretty good here for the 13th Friday. All right, let's check out things. A pretty good view here. You see no issues for Friday evening fever here for tonight. 89 degrees, a little warm though. Dew point's down a little, moisture down just a bit. Led to some 60s across the area for lows this morning. And that's our Alexandria Tower cam as we look out, see a mostly clear sky. From Sinlaw Broadcasting, thanks to those folks, and Toledo Bend Lake Country, where I know some folks are going to be up there this weekend, 89 degrees there, and a beautiful view not only of the water, but the sky. Got a nice look to it as well. And look at that clear slot there on the left of the cameras. There with Northeast Beauregard there between DeRidder and looks like Dry Creek. We're 88 degrees in that direction, and things are looking good there as well. Satellite imagery indicating the position of what's left of Francine. Still a vortex, still a spin there. And the Little Rock, Memphis area looks like that is, you can definitely see that spin. Looks like to me, at least the upper vortex is centered just in Memphis there, probably a little north of there, drifting east and southeast just a bit. We're also seeing a little energy come in from across Mexico into portions of South Texas, but it's weakening, dissipating as it works toward the area, and a little bit of energy also coming on the back side of this particular system. And interesting thing, one of the things I want to talk about is, as you know, this is pretty far away, but these tropical systems, even the remnants, can sometimes reach out and touch you from a distance several days after landfall. That may happen with this, as some of that energy on the back side comes in and brings us a little rain chance this weekend and into the early part of next week, which we'll outline in the 7-day forecast. Radar indicating nothing happening here locally, so we'll have to go up to the north where we're seeing a little twist in the radar images up in that area. Right now, it looks like the radar, which is kind of going to be centered a little closer to the surface level, is just to the northeast of Little Rock right there. You can see some of the banding features, not very well organized, but they're there. And some of this is thunderstorms. You see some lightning discharges out of that. So that is what's left of Francine. Again, we could get a little backlash from it this weekend, but don't worry about it. It's not going to be like Gustav's backlash back in 2008. Satellite and radar, we continue to see this is a surface low marked by this analysis again in the Little Rock, Memphis areas. Here's the eastern Pacific tropical system near the southern part of Baja. You can see that moisture coming in from the southwest headed northeast across Mexico there. So we've got all these factors together. Kind of an interesting forecast. Let's go into FutureCast for a high resolution model dedicated to Sinlaws. So let's see what's going to happen there Saturday morning, mid-morning. You got errands to do, grocery store and such, so you can get out without any threat of rain. Once we get into the PM hours, though, there will be some hit and miss showers across mainly the southern and southwestern portions of the area. And so I'll have that covered in a graphic just after this. And that will continue into the evening hours. Once we get into Sunday morning, we got Sunday school and church, no issues there. But likewise, once again, when it gets warm enough in the PM, I think we'll see some hit and miss stuff develop with a low end coverage there. So the rainfall pattern for Saturday, I have some folks explicitly in the 0%. Most of Natchitoches and Grant parishes will be in the 0%. Wynn, LaSalle, Catahoula, Concordia, I don't think you have any worries of rain there. Got some 10% for portions of Sabine, Rapides, and Avoyles parishes. And then the highest chance is 20 to 30% covering most of Vernon Parish, Beauregard, down into Allen, Evangeline, and St. Landry. So that's your rainfall pattern for your Saturday. It'll be in the PM. Morning, you're okay. And then any amounts will be less than an inch. I don't see anybody getting an inch or more out of this stuff. All right, satellite imagery. This is your first part of the tropical tour. As we go into the Atlantic and see our next tropical storm, which is Gordon. AL 94. Well, there's not much to it left, and the National Hurricane Center's down to near 0% with that. This wave, which is pretty impressive off in the western part of Africa, as it moved out into the Atlantic, it's pretty disorganized right now. It's not even being monitored very closely. Of course, we watch it, but there's nothing happening with it. Tropical Storm Gordon now, 40 mile per hour tropical storm, so it's barely one, but it's there, and the track takes it kind of slowly to the west, a little bit veering to the northwest there as we head later into the track, say the middle of next week or something like that. There is a part where the Hurricane Center thinks it might weaken a little bit with little unfavorable conditions there and then re-strengthen back to a tropical storm. But we do have that the 7th of the season. And the satellite imagery indicating that there's a lot of instability and unsettled weather there around the Florida Peninsula as well as into the southwestern Atlantic there. And so we're watching that for tropical or subtropical development, I would say. In fact, there is a 40% chance of development into a sub or a real tropical system there. There is a frontal boundary which is kind of stretched across that area, which could help focus some of that energy that is moving toward the northwest. So we'll keep our eyes on it. NHC gives it a 40% chance of becoming something by early next week. All right, back home for your 7-day forecast. There's that little front Saturday, Sunday. That's kind of some of that energy, some of that influence from the leftovers of Francine that I've been talking about. And you see there are some low-end rain chances Saturday. I'm averaging 10%, so that goes from 0 to 30% as I outlined on the more specific graphic. Going 20% there for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, because that feature will still be around in some form or another to the east or northeast of us. So again, that little bit of weather coming out of the east or northeast toward us from the remnants of Francine. And then once we get into the middle of next week, all that's going to kind of wash out. We'll see the high pressure ridge kind of redevelop and it will heat up again as we see some 90s there, especially Thursday and Friday of next week. In fact, we'll average 90 tomorrow, so it'll be a pretty toasty Saturday for you. And so minimum temperatures will be above the typical values in the mid to upper 60s. I've got about 68 to 70, 71 there. So I think we'll see kind of conditions a little bit warmer than we should have, but nothing big expected. I don't know if I'd call this a real tranquil pattern, but we've certainly seen a lot worse. So there's your 7-day forecast, folks. Nick Mikulas will be back with you in the morning, and I'll see you about this time tomorrow. Y'all take care.